Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
We are hearing from South Dakota's Attorney General about last week's officer-involved shooting in Sioux Falls.
Marty Jackley says Thursday's incident started when sheriff's deputies were serving a warrant for a mental illness hold at an assisted living center. Officers then fired their weapons when the man, armed with 2 knives, moved toward the officers.
There were 4 different officers that two employed the non-lethal rounds, and then 2 employed the lethal rounds. And so that's all under investigation. There's an extensive amount of video coverage that needs to be looked at.
The state DCI is reviewing the officers' actions. This is the first officer-involved shooting this year in South Dakota. Meanwhile, authorities in western South Dakota have arrested a rape suspect following a weekend standoff in Rapid City.
Law enforcement received a tip that 52-year-old James Norris Jr. was at a Super 8 motel on Saturday, but Norris refused to come out of his room when officers approached him.
James advised he had a gun and refused to come out. Thus created a barricaded situation with an armed individual.
Authorities arrested Norris Saturday evening after he had barricaded himself for several hours. Now, in addition to rape, Norris is also wanted for sexual contact with a child under 16 and domestic abuse to a minor under the age of 7. Authorities have released the names of those involved in a deadly crash near Baltic last week. It happened on Interstate 29 at 10:30 in the morning on April 1st. Authorities say a Volvo went into the median after losing control due to poor weather conditions. It rolled and 3 of the 4 men inside were thrown.
21-year-old Revanth Achanta died from his injuries. The other 3 men were taken to a nearby hospital with serious, non-life-threatening injuries. The South Dakota Highway Patrol is investigating the crash.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
All right, good morning, Barry. Good morning, everybody. We are looking at a cool day today. Mostly cloudy skies, showers. We already have that this morning in western to northeastern South Dakota. And our shower trend, I think, will continue as we go through the morning and into the afternoon, trying to become a little more widespread this afternoon into central, south central, eventually advancing into southeastern KELOLAND. Temperatures will remain cool with highs in the 40s and 50s. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. We're just a day away from Election Day in Sioux Falls as voters are choosing candidates for both the City Council and School Board. People turned out at the Minnehaha County Administration Building Saturday morning to vote absentee. The auditor's office opened up the weekend voting as a convenience for people who might not have time to cast their ballots in person during the work week.
Now, today is the last day you can vote absentee. Precinct polling places will open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Be sure to bring a valid photo ID in order to vote. People gathered in northwest Iowa Saturday, including some local college football players, to help a little boy who's battling brain cancer. The family of Kai Lanat hosted a free will pancake breakfast in Larchwood.
Kai's dad, Cade, plays on the Augustana football team, so his teammates and coaches came to help with the fundraiser.
We had a bunch of guys show up this morning. There's a bunch of fundraising efforts going on, for Kylan right now. And this pancake feed and the things that go with it as a football team, we came to celebrate the opportunity to help and wash some eggs and crack some food and get it right for the family.
Kai is currently undergoing chemo treatments in Colorado. If you'd like to help the family, we have links posted with this story on KELOLAND.com. Well, it's not quite Gulf weather right now in South Dakota. However, CBS will once again be covering the Masters live from Augusta, Georgia in just a few days.
A Sioux Falls man will be there volunteering. Paul Ortman has volunteered at the Masters for 27 years. His job is crowd control.
They might get a little excited when they see someone and might get a little loud with a greeting or something, but otherwise it's surprising how quiet a whole large group, hundreds or thousands of people in one area, can be for the golfers.
Ortman's first year of volunteering was back in 1997 when Tiger Woods won his first major tournament at the Masters and set the course record. Ortman says one of the perks of being a volunteer at the Masters is you get to play one round of 27 holes on the course while you're there.
And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Carsons. Good morning, Brian.
All right. Well, of course, everybody's talking about the eclipse today. The big question is, will we see it? And the clouds are definitely one of the big considerations. But we do have a few breaks here and there. I've noticed even early this morning, Gregory has begun to clear out a little bit. So this is what it would look like if we had clear blue skies in Sioux Falls. And as we click the maps here, a lot of this partial eclipse starts at about 1:45. And then you can see as the moon comes over the disk of the sun, it covers a little more than 70% of the disk. So it'll be a reduction a little bit in sunlight. It's not as dramatic nearly as dramatic as what it is over the path of totality, but we'll take what we can get. And obviously, we're hopeful we could get a few breaks in the clouds. The thing peaks at about 2 o'clock, 1:56 to be exact, and then everything is done there by 3:09. Now, this is the latest on Futurecast. So as you look at a midday weather map, there are some areas in southeast South Dakota, northwest Iowa, southwest Minnesota, leading up to midday, where there are just a few breaks in the clouds, and we're seeing evidence of that already. So I do want to put that out there, that it's not just a complete, shrouded cloud forecast in the southeast. Now, there are rain showers coming in northwest of Sioux Falls at 1 o'clock, and that is the battle, isn't it? The time, the race is on to see if we can eke out some of the glimpses of that by 2 o'clock. I will note, though, that the rain line is awfully close to Sioux Falls at 2 p.m. So keep checking your Storm Tracker app as we go through the late morning and early afternoon. If there's any hope there, again, we'll continue to find at least a few breaks here and there. Now, here's the bottom line. The late afternoon, the shower chances will be up for Sioux Falls. We do expect this little band of rain to move through, and then temperatures will end up sliding through the 40s as we head through the evening. If we bring the rest of Ketherland into the view, let me back up for a moment and show that on the maps there. You can see the temperature forecast by about 12 o'clock. 30s and 40s for central and western South Dakota. Again, kind of a broader zone of some drizzle or lighter showers. And then there's the peak of the eclipse there, 2 o'clock. So you see how most of South Dakota, just really tough, isn't it? Northwest Iowa, probably there in the bottom right-hand part of your screen, is the best off here. Then we, of course, cycle tonight, and we'll start clearing out the skies. Yeah, just go figure that, right? And then we get into tomorrow, and then we're going to have more sunshine and highs in the 60s. It'll feel very spring-like tomorrow. And speaking of spring-like weather, we have a lot of that coming up. Now, some wind is going to return Wednesday into Thursday. There is another cold front coming in. In fact, it may be enough to spark a few more April showers Wednesday night, but not a dramatic cool down. Maybe near 60 on Thursday. Look at the weekend. Upper 70s in the forecast. And the way this forecast is going, we could actually see more of that into early next week, and the possibility of even some showers and thunderstorms maybe by next Tuesday. We'll see how the timing works out on that, but there's another storm system coming out into the plains. Aberdeen in the northeast, you'll warm up for the weekend as well. Don't forget about a shower Wednesday, and the wind and the shower chance on Wednesday also for Pierre and central South Dakota. But it doesn't really look like a cool 7-day. I think everything's pointing toward some warmer weather. We've got you covered. More details online at KETHERLAND.com.